I'm just going to admit that I'm angry as hell since just before the election, and particularly after Donald Trump took the oath of office. But I was born here. My parents were born here, my grandparents, great grandparents, and on and on and on. So, and I live in the deep South. So I have learned to compartmentalize my anger to a part of my mind so that I can function normally during the rest of the day and the rest of my life when I'm not thinking about these things. But my anger goes back before the election when I witnessed an accomplished, rational, well spoken, well intentioned black woman of black and Indian descent, accomplished, voted by the people of the state of California. She rose up and became Attorney General. Voted by the people of the state of California, she became a United States Senator. Selected by the President of the United States when he was running, she became Joe Biden's Vice President, dismantling Donald Trump in their only debate. And then to witness Trump's campaign of hate, racism, misogyny, his promise to wreak havoc when he took office. I will be your retribution. He promised that he would take revenge, not only for himself, but on behalf of his supporters. Then the sexism, all of it combined. But to think that there are enough people in the United States of America willingly, gladly, proudly voting for this man, a convicted felon on multiple counts, an adjudicated sexual abuser found liable for sexual assault or abuse of a woman by a jury of his peers, and on trial for multiple, or to be put on trial for multiple other offenses, including unwarranted taking of classified information and storing them at his home in Florida. Under investigation for the insurrection against the United States that happened January 6th, the year in which Joe Biden was to assume the presidency. He tried to stop the peaceful transfer of power and denied that he lost the presidential election. To think that there were enough people with enough animus, hate, racism in their hearts to put this individual in the Oval Office again with all of the power that comes with it just made me furious. And then to see who voted for him in spite of all of the other so-called signals. The fact that a majority of white women voted for Donald John Trump after he proudly beat his chest and said he was responsible for ending the reproductive freedoms of women in the United States. To see the percentage of Latinos that voted for Donald Trump after he had that hate fest at Madison Square Garden, where he platformed a comedian that called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. And to see this guy, Donald Trump, on stage simulating an oral sex act in front of the world, nothing mattered. Nothing mattered. And now we are in crisis. But the reason we're in crisis is that Donald Trump did exactly what he said he was going to do. There's no surprises. There's no, wow, I'm shocked he did that. There was a manual that came with this guy. It was called Project 2025. And people try to tell folks, read it. Don't bypass this. Of course, Trump said, I don't know anything about it. I don't know these people. Oh, they're all in the government. And he's executing it. And matter of fact, he's executing above and beyond what its aims are. Now folks are clutching their pearls. They're worried about their Social Security being taken. They're worried about Medicaid being taken. They're concerned because he said he would lower prices day one, and he's raising them. Just put a tariff in place that goes into effect on April 2nd on automobiles. Has tariffs on friendly nations like Canada, Mexico. Has tariffs on China. Has tariffs on countries in Europe. Everything is going to skyrocket. And then the war on DEI, which to me is code word for the war on me. But the thing is, DEI was never about me. The people that benefit from DEI the most are the people that voted for him the most. White women. All DEI does is give people an opportunity to compete on merit. But once he got in this rollback DEI phase, he elevated some of the most unqualified people ever to positions of power. People like Pete Hegseth over the Defense Department, Tulsi Gabbard over all of our intelligence agencies, Linda McMahon over the Education Department, who admits her only job is to tear it down. So here we are, and already this clown car of people have committed a breach of security by discussing a planned attack on an enemy group in Yemen, the Houthis. Discuss it on an unsecure app, probably on their private cell phones, and included a reporter in the chat. That could have ended up costing the lives of our military members that were involved in that operation. And of course, no one's being punished for that. And to see the absolute abdication of responsibility of our United States Congress in ceding power to Donald Trump is absolutely horrifying. And we look at the abuses, people being swept off the street for their speech, people being flown to a maximum security, supermax type prison in another country without any due process, just because someone said, oh, they're members of a gang because they got tattoos and they may commit some crimes. That's not the United States that people talk about. the great United States. Who has it been great for? It was great for one group for a long period of time. But now that other people want some of that greatness, they want to tear it down. They want to commit the largest theft in the history. They want to take away what people have worked for all their lives so they can redistribute it to the wealthy through tax cuts. That's what this is all about. And those people that voted for Donald Trump, who think he's on their side, they're now finding out and they're getting broadsided by his policies. But they're too proud to admit it. There's an old song by a soul group from Motown called The Temptations. Too proud to beg. But you shouldn't be too proud to stand up and say, I screwed up and we gotta do something. You gotta stop this guy. And these cowards in Congress that we elected, they need to be thrown out one way or the other. Thrown out if they don't do their job, and thrown out if they lay down and let Donald Trump walk over. Either way, they should be out. So I just had to come on here and just say, I am mad as hell that we're even dealing with this, because it didn't have to be. You had an option. Everyone was telling you, and you let hate guide you when you got in that voting booth. And now we got this unelected billionaire, Elon Musk, who is powered by Donald Trump. Just like if you buy a computer, a personal computer, and it says Intel inside, they should stamp on Elon Musk's forehead Donald Trump inside. Because he has no power unless he's given power. No one elected Elon Musk, and he is destroying tens of thousands of lives of federal workers. And he's trying to destroy lives of our seniors, because he is actively trying to destroy the Social Security Administration so that the services and the benefits become unattainable to the most vulnerable of its recipients who aren't able to do everything online if they want to change their direct deposit information, or if they want to sign up and they can't navigate the online system, or if they're bedridden, or if they're foster children, for example. They know this is happening, and they're not doing anything to stop it. So I just want to come out and just let everybody know that you can be mad as hell and still operate in a normal manner. And coming on this platform helps me get some of it out. And who knows, it may go away in a few weeks, because its time is coming up unless there's another extension. But hey, look, I'm mad, I'm angry, but I'm not getting out in the streets. I'm not doing something stupid. My people have paid the price already, and everyone else got the benefits. So it's your turn now. You may have voted for Kamala Harris. Great. You voted not to have this chaos either. But if you voted the other way and you know you screwed up and you threw all of us under the bus, you need to say something to get this fixed.